Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to fix an Xbox 360 charging port on the controller. So there you have it. This is a Xbox 360 controller, and the problem with this one is that it doesn't charge because there is nothing inside to charge with. Now, for this one, the connector is broken inside here, which we will fix. So let's first see what's the problem with this one after we unscrew it, and let's change out that charging port. So let's get started. So now that the screws are out, we continue to the next step, which is to take off the plastic, like so. And this is basically everything we need to fix. We need to fix this port right here. As you see, there is no internal. You can look straight through it. There is nothing there. And that's why it doesn't charge. It's broken. So we're gonna switch this port over so that it will charge again. So to fix that charging port, I have this other charging port that does have them. This is basically called a test board, where you can solder to each of those pins to power your electronics or do something with them. But that's not what we're gonna use this for. We're gonna use the hot air gun from my soldering iron. So we're gonna take this part off and put it on there. We have set the temperature to 356, that is in Celsius, and we're gonna take this off and put it on the controller. So as you guys can see now, I am checking those pins on the microscope, and those pins actually look very good. So this port has no damage when we took it off. So this port is actually very capable of being transferred to the controller now. So to get started, we need to remove this port first. For that, we're gonna need to use our hot air gun again. So before we continue putting the new one on, I want you guys to see what's the problem actually. So as you see in this one, coming from the white here, you can look through. This is the broken one. So if I hold the not broken one in the white area, you can see there is something inside of there. And that something is what we need for the controller to be able to charge. So let's get this back on here so that it will be charged again. Okay, so to get this port back on there, we have to align the pins with the pins here on the screen. This is actually facing the motherboard of the controller, which is where we're gonna line this charging port up to. But before we get to that, I have to put some liquid in there. This will be liquid when the heat is going to heat this up. And that liquid is to protect the plastic inside of this controller. So as it gets hot, we don't want the plastic to melt, because the plastic is what holds the connectors inside to be able to charge up. So if the plastic will be gone, then you cannot connect your wire to it, because for one, you need the plastic in order to plug into. So you're not actually plugging into the port. I mean, yes, you are plugging into the port, but you're also plugging into the plastic, which controls the lines that you're going to be charging with. So burning that plastic is not a good idea. Okay, so I have the port placed, and I'm gonna move the camera and we're gonna start soldering this on the place. Okay guys, so I have soldered this off camera because it was a little bit too difficult. I needed more space and my phone was in the way. But as you can see, the port is now connected to the board. The port is now connected to the board, and we're going to test it after we check if all the data lines are soldered properly. Alright, so on here in the screen, you can see 5 pins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna need to make sure that all of those pins are connected properly and evenly, so that it makes a good connection to the board that's underneath it. So we're gonna do this with a soldering iron and with a very tiny tip. With a very tiny tip at the end so that we can touch that. Alright, so now that we did that, we're gonna take it for a test. So let's get the wire. Let's see here. So it's working again, and let's reassemble it and try again if it still works. Alright, so the joystick is now reassembled. So let's take a look if it still works. So as you can see, the port is right there, and we will plug it in. Look at that, fantastic. So this is now actually functional. I don't have an Xbox to test it. I mean, I have an Xbox, but not for this, so we cannot test it at the moment. But yeah, it will work, because before it didn't work at all. So thank you for watching, subscribe, and comment down below. Thank you, guys.